Welcome, film aficionados, to another episode of Sajjad Classic. Today we're diving into the fascinating and at times controversial life of Carole Lombard. Known as the queen of screwball comedy, Lombard's career burned bright with wit, charm, and an irreverence that forever altered Hollywood's portrayal of women. But behind the laughter lay a woman whose journey was marked not only by iconic film roles and critical acclaim, but also by personal and professional controversies that still spark debate today. Before we get deep into her story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community of classic film enthusiasts.
When I was married, every well-brought-up girl knew something about cooking. Why, Jane, what is it?
I can't cook. I can't keep house. I don't know how to bring up a baby.
Jane,
I'm
please.
sure I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
yes, you do. You resented me from the first moment you saw me. You resented me because you wanted Johnny to marry Eunice Doolittle.
Carole Lombard was born Jane Alice Peters on October 6, 1908, in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Her early life was turbulent. After her parents' separation, she was raised primarily by her mother and two older brothers. Hollywood beckoned when she was discovered as a child, and by the age of 12, she appeared in the silent film A Perfect Crime, 1921. Yet, Lombard's ascent was not without its challenges. Early in her career, she encountered controversies typical of the studio era. There were murmurs about her unconventional entrance into film, a child star forced into adult roles by the fast-moving production schedules of early Hollywood. Even as she transitioned into more mature roles, Lombard's vivacious personality sometimes clashed with the staid expectations of the film industry, sparking debates about what constituted proper feminine behavior in the limelight. Critics and studio executives alike were unsettled by her mix of irreverence and raw talent, a combination that would later define her cinematic legacy. During a serious car accident in 1926, Lombard suffered a facial injury that changed her looks. While many believed this would end her prospects, she challenged the norms of beauty in Hollywood. In fact, some critics later argued that her unique appearance and spirited personality made her stand out. Her resilience became a subtle controversy in itself. Was it her defiance of conventional beauty stand or the studio system's refusal to mold her into a more acceptable image? In the rigid environment of 1920s and 30s cinema, her continued success became a quiet protest against the norms. Let's delve into some of the roles that made Carole Lombard a household name and examine how critics, both then and now, have celebrated and critiqued her performances. 20th Century, 1934. This film marked one of Lombard's early breakthroughs. Starring opposite John Barrymore, she played the charming and witty lead in a screwball comedy that captivated audiences with its rapid-fire dialogue and brilliant chemistry. Contemporary critics praised her for balancing both vulnerability and a playful irreverence that elevated the film's narrative. Reviews at the time noted that her natural comedic timing was unmatched, even as some purists argued that the film blurred the lines between light romance and farce. Her performance was often seen as a turning point, a demonstration that women in Hollywood could command the screen with both humor and intelligence.
And never, never, never enter the butler's room again.
You mean I never can come in here again?
Never.
Well, when can we talk?
When I'm serving breakfast in the morning, I can say good morning, Miss Irene, and you can say good morning, Godfrey. But you must never come into my room again.
Oh, you'll be sorry.
I'm only trying to be helpful.
My Man Godfrey, 1936, arguably one of Lombard's most iconic roles, My Man Godfrey showcased her ability to blend humor with a touch of sophistication. Playing a woman navigating the class divide during the Great Depression, Lombard's character was both feisty and endearing. Critics widely lauded the film for its smart script and astute social commentary. Renowned reviewers remarked on her electrifying presence and the infectious optimism she brought to a story that, on the surface, was a comedy, but also offered a critique of wealth and status disparities. Some controversy arose from those who believed that the film, and by extension Lombard's portrayal, trivialized the harsh realities of the period. However, history has vindicated her performance as one that captured the spirit of an era in transition. Nothing Sacred, 1937. Nothing Sacred was a daring foray into satire and black comedy, one of Hollywood's early attempts to lampoon society's deepest taboos. In this film, Lombard started a narrative that skewered the sanctity of religious institutions and the hypocrisies of high society. Critics were polarized. While many heralded her fearless performance and the film's biting wit, others argued it pushed the boundaries of acceptable subject matter for its time. Lombard's ability to oscillate between humor and subtle drama was evident as she navigated a script that was both a playful commentary and a pointed critique of societal conventions. Even decades later, film scholars discuss how her performance in Nothing Sacred paved the way for future satirical works in Hollywood.
Poor little me. Oh, I wouldn't hurt a fly.
Or a goldfish. By the way, how is he?
Who?
The goldfish.
What goldfish?
Oh, the one you're so attached to. You see, I read all your interviews.
Oh, yes, of course.
And when I...
To Be or Not to Be, 1942. Perhaps one of the most poignant entries in her filmography, To Be or Not to Be remains a subject of debate among critics. In this film, released posthumously, Lombard's performance, despite being heavily mediated by the tragic circumstances surrounding her untimely death, is remembered as a brilliant confluence of humor and gravitas. Set against the backdrop of pre-World War II tensions, the film's satirical take on the rise of Nazism was both bold and controversial. Critics of the era were split. Some lauded the film for its daring commentary on authoritarianism, while others felt that comedy was an inappropriate vehicle for political critique. Lombard's role, imbued with sharp wit and an undercurrent of somber reflection, became emblematic of her capacity to challenge and entertain simultaneously. Each of these roles was met with a unique mix of admiration and critique. The dissent, particularly from more conservative critics, often centered on how Lombard's performances blurred the boundaries between acceptable comedy and poignant social commentary. Yet, it is precisely this audacity that not only defined her career, but also continues to inspire debates among film historians today. No biography of Carole Lombard would be complete without addressing the controversies that accompanied her meteoric rise, both on and off screen. In a time when the studio system thrived on conformity, Lombard's outspoken personality frequently put her at odds with pounding her creative choices and asserting that a genuine performance could not be bottled into a sanitized mold. Lombard's personal life was not without scandal. Even before her celebrated romance with Clark Gable, there were swirling rumors about her relationships and even flirtations with other Hollywood luminaries. These whispers of affairs and contentious relationships generated tabloid fodder. In a conservative Hollywood that prized discretion, her very public relationship with Gable, the intensity of their love affair, was both celebrated and critiqued. While some critics and fans adored the it couple image, others saw it as emblematic of a double standard in how men and women were judged in the public eye. Lombard's life off camera became a touchstone in debates about female independence and the boundaries of acceptable behavior in a cutthroat industry. In 1942, Carole Lombard embarked on a war bond tour to support the U.S. effort in World War II. Against advice, she decided to fly home to be with Gable more quickly. Sadly, her plane crashed in Nevada, killing everyone on board. She was just 33 years old. Her death shocked the nation. President Franklin D. Roosevelt hailed her as the first woman killed in the line of duty during the war effort. Gable was devastated and later enlisted in the Army Air Forces to honor her memory. Carole Lombard was more than a comedian. She was a trailblazer who challenged gender norms, redefined what it meant to be a female lead, and lived her life with bold authenticity. Her films still shine today, not just for the laughs, but for the fierce intelligence and heart behind each performance. So the next time you watch My Man Godfrey or To Be or Not to Be, take a moment to appreciate the woman behind the screen. A woman who laughed loudly, loved boldly, and lived every frame like it was her last. Don't forget to like, comment your favorite Carole Lombard movie, and of course, subscribe to Sajjad Classic for more journeys through Hollywood's golden age.